So, with DC film, the new slate of DC films right around the corner, I kind of thought it'd be fun to talk about like what 10 characters I would love to see get new films, whether they be characters who got movies or characters who should get movies. I kind of did this video before, but I was like, you know what, this time around I'm going to have like 10, I'm going to talk about 10 characters, not like there's not going to be like an order here. It's not going to be like a top 10 or whatever. It's just 10 characters I would love to see get movies for the DC universe, because James Gunn clearly wants to showcase other characters outside of Superman and Batman and play around with other stuff. So, yeah, we do obviously, and opening the door with other stuff, with along the lines of the Authority and Swamp Thing and the Creature Commandos. Which, by the way, Swamp Thing's getting written and directed by James Mangold, quickly becoming one of my favorite directors. Just saying. Anyway, so, like I said, this isn't a top 10 list, so whenever I name a character, just know that it's not like any specific order, and I'm always excited to hear what 10 characters you guys would love to have for DC films from now on, or in the DC films going forward. It's late. I'm tired. My brain not work. So let's start with our first one. This is a character who needs a reboot, and that's Jonah Hex. I always go back to, I don't even know if this channel still exists. Do you guys remember Hi, I'm Marvel, Hi, I'm a DC, and it just spiraled into its own universe? Do you guys remember those movies? I mean, that YouTube channel, it was big for a hot minute. I don't know what happened to it, but they had a really good point when they were talking about Jonah Hex. They were having they were talking about the Jonah Hex movie, and and I think it was the Iron Man figure who said, you had the perfect opportunity to do a dark, gritty superhero Western story, but instead you made it into a faux Ghost Rider movie. And I'm like, that perfectly sums up the Josh Brolin movie. Even though Josh Brolin himself was really good, everything else is a massive dumpster fire that makes you really want to hate yourself for watching it. I think Jonah Hex needs a new movie. I really do believe Jonah Hex could benefit as a character getting a new film with this character. I think that you can do a dark, gritty Western story. And hell, if you want to have it tied to other stuff, have it be set like Jonah Hex goes to Gotham or something and encounters the Court of Owls. That's actually a comic that happened that's in DC continuity. Or maybe it isn't. DC continuity is all over the place, as you guys know. So yeah, if you want to still have like some superhero stuff, have him go to a ye old Gotham, encounter the Court of Owls as like a horror story, or something of that degree, or have him battle Vandal Savage, have him fight Vandal Savage. There's tons of ways you could do this, or like I said, make it the closest we have gotten to a legit Jonah Hex anything in terms of media has probably been, well, Legends of Tomorrow did do him some justice, but the one that really stands out is the Thomas Jane animated short. Yeah, a 10 to 15 minute short, literally outclassed an entire movie. But I do see that this could easily work as its own film, and I would not be opposed to Josh Brolin coming back to place the character. Just have it be like a requel. Have it be like, yeah, he's you don't even need to like. You could just be a soft reboot. That's the word I was looking for. It could be a soft reboot where we don't reference anything from the last film, but just keep Josh Brolin as like an old haggard Jonah Hex looking to just looking for a bounty. That's it. He's a bounty hunter. Just have him on like you could do something in the vein of something like True Grit or something of like it's a dark Western, and it's just Jonah Hex going on a mission to find a bounty hunter, to catch a bounty, and that's it. You don't need it to be like some superhero plot. It's just have Hex looking for someone to shoot. There you go. So next up is another unique character. And this one hasn't had a movie or anything, and that is a Grifter. Grifter And you may be thinking, well, why Grifter of all characters? Grifter could be a great introduction to the world of Wildcats and more of the Wildstorm heroes. We're already getting that with the Authority, and for all we know, maybe Grifter will be... We don't know the lineup for the Authority, so for all we know, it could be a mixture of Stormwatch and Wildcats, too. Grifter as a solo movie would be a lot of fun. This is how you could introduce the Daemonites. This is how you could build up to stuff with the Wildcats, and maybe later introduce the Wildcats. I think Grifter would be a cool way to kind of showcase more of the Wildstorm side of the DC universe. I think that'd be a lot of... I think it'd definitely work on his own. So yeah, Grifter. Sorry, it's late. I'm tired. So next on this list is the next one on this list. Well, this one isn't so much a person, but more like a team, and that is that's basically the Justice Society of America. Like, to do the JSA proper this time, rather than whatever that was in Black Adam. I would definitely love to see like a World War II piece story of focusing on the JSA fighting like Per Degaton or Baron von Blitzkrieg or something ridiculous. I want to see more of these DC films embrace the ridiculous, and maybe have like a legit story set in like a 40s era JSA story would be a lot of fun. So yeah. Next up is Plastic Man. Now, funny enough, believe it or not, James Gunn tried to get a Plastic Man movie off the ground shortly after directing Scooby-Doo, and he wanted to have Matthew Lillard play Plastic Man. Can we just stop and appreciate that Matthew Lillard was almost Plastic Man in a movie? I mean, we could still get that for all we know. But yeah, Plastic Man is definitely a character that could benefit from being a slapstick comedy, something in the vein of The Mask. I don't know if we could get Jim Carrey for it. I wouldn't be opposed to it, of him playing Plastic Man. But it's a character I could definitely see in this new era of DC films, and it wouldn't hurt to have something a little lighthearted in between some pretty dark stuff that we're probably going to run into with these films. So definitely, I would absolutely love to see. I would absolutely 100% love to see Plastic Man in these films. So at the halfway point is another character that kind of needs a reboot. After arguably one of the worst superhero movies to exist, if not sometimes argued as the worst, and that's Steel. Yeah, you guys remember Shaquille O'Neal, who did that character back in the 90s? Yeah. We all try to forget, but we can't. With Superman Legacy and James Gunn talking about how we're going to focus a lot on the Superman family, why not focus on a character who is tangentially connected to it? I think that Steel would be a lot of cool to see in here, and I think he could carry his own movie. Maybe have one of Superman's other villains as the villain for him to face. If you're not going to use all of Superman's villains, maybe just give one to Steel. I think that character can definitely carry his own movie, and maybe play into more of the DC universe on a whole. So there you go. All right. Moving on to our next one on the list, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is that one is who is it? Oh God! Oh yeah, Red Tornado. Sorry, it's late. I'm tired. Red Tornado, I think, could definitely carry his own movie. I think it would be a lot of fun to kind of play with the whole ideas of man and machine, kind of like a superhero version of Ex Machina, and talk about like sentient life and what is sentience and what is life, because that's always been like the stories for Red Tornado, is like talking about like the concept of life and all of that. You could have his siblings, like Red Volcano, like all of those as the villains, or even as T.O. Morrow or Ivo as the villains for his film. I think he could. It's a character that I feel like has a lot of potential for this universe. So Red Tornado could definitely carry his own movie. I have no doubt about it. Next up, Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter is another character that could carry his own film. Even though, yes, he has shown up in the Justice League movie, he is long overdue to get his own film. I think he could. Just have him battle stop a white Martian invasion. Like, that's how you do it. Is just have him battling the white Martians in like a conspiracy kind of film. While also kind of like learning about humanity and all of that. I think he could definitely play that as like a conspiracy film and as with a little bit of a superhero edge to it. And speaking of conspiracy stuff, our next character on the list is The Question. The Question would absolutely kill it as I could see this as a gritty R-rated conspiracy film in the vein of like the Da Vinci Code or Enemy of the State, and just have it like maybe Vic Sage has discovered like a Durlan's invasion by the shape-shifting Durlans or something. That was a plot in one of the comics, I believe. So The Question would be a fun like delve into like this kind of psychological, because you don't know if Vic is crazy or not. So I think this could definitely benefit as a R-rated bloody film, as well as a psychological horror and psychological thriller as well, something in the vein of like a Hitchcock film, if you play your cards right. So, yeah, there you go. Next up, we have Vixen. Vixen would be so much fun. You could just have her out in, out in the wilds of Africa, or that's because, if you're wondering why I said Africa, because that's where she trains most of the time, is when she's not with the League. In some of the continuities with Justice League, she would go out and train in Africa and like learn to harness the totems that she has and harness more of the red. That would actually be kind of a cool idea too, since hopefully the Swamp Thing movie will delve into the green and the rot. Maybe if you do a Vixen movie, you can delve into like the red. That's also, maybe you can also introduce Animal Man in there too, or Bwana Beast, or other characters who are connected to the red, which is the connection to all animal life on Earth. And maybe have it that Vixen has become in this universe become the champion of the red. And you could have like Animal Man or Bwana Beast or even Kongorilla. I'm bringing out all these characters, helping her, guide her, or something like that. Definitely. I think Vixen would be a really good, would be a damn good movie. As for villain, if I was going to tie this in with Swamp Thing and the Green, I would have the Rot as the villain. But yeah. So our final character on this list, is it's like, the funny thing is like this is hopefully this will happen. Like, hopefully this can happen. And that is, if not a film, but maybe a TV show. I would absolutely love a Guy Gardner anything with this DC universe. Guy Gardner's my favorite Lantern. Yes, I know it's a very hot take, this saying Guy Gardner is your favorite Lantern, but Guy is, you could easily, you can have it be like this kind of brass knuckle, like angry Dirty Harry Dirty Harry in space, or just have him just be just this angry nobody who's just looking for a fight in his film or TV series. There's so many ways you can play it with Guy, but yeah. So there you go, guys. That is those are my characters, or rather 9 characters, 1 team for what I'd like to see in the DC universe. And the DC universe is ever expansive, has so many characters. I was going to say Static. I was going to put Static on this list, but according to James Gunn, he does have plans for Static in the DC universe. So I was like, okay, I will hold you to that, James. So I wasn't going to put him on here. Although for an honorable mention, I really would love to see Icon in here. I would love to see Icon and the other Milestone characters in this series. I would absolutely love it. But yeah, for now, you guys tell me, what 10 characters do you want to see in the Get DC films? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.